I'm Laura and welcome to class today. Today's class is an intermediate workout, and in an intermediate workout we presume that you know the basics. So if you're new to Pilates, I would recommend checking out some of the beginners workouts before you try this. So as we go through, as always, make sure that you're careful with your body, and we are responsible for our own bodies, so we want to look after them. Let's get going. So bring yourselves into a hands and knees position, or quadruped. So hands underneath shoulders, knees directly underneath the hips. Soften the elbows and then let the eye gaze look down. So the chin lightly drops towards the chest and we feel that the crown of the head reaches forwards, the tailbone reaches back. And we want to have the three bones at the front of the pelvis, the two pelvic bones and the pubic bone, so that they're level with the floor. Okay, so we've got a neutral pelvis and we're bringing our spine to as close to neutral as our spine allows us to. And we're going to start with our thoracic breathing. So breathing in through the nose and out through the mouth, expanding the ribs to the sides, to the back. And on your out breath, we want to feel how the navel draws in, the pelvic floor lifts. So we're finding that connection with our deep abdominal muscles. And on each breath that we're controlling the engagement of those muscles. Now on your next out breath, we're going to begin to tip the pelvis backwards. We're going to round the lower back and feel the tailbone tuck under, the pubic bone lift up. And then on your in breath, lengthen the tailbone away. Feel the pelvis come back to neutral. And let's do that again. So exhaling to round the lower spine, curl the tail under, tip the pelvis back, keep the rib cage, the neck, the shoulders and the head nice and quiet. So we're isolating just the lumbar spine, just to the pelvis. We're just going to do this one more time. So exhaling, navel draws in to allow the lower back to round, and an inhale to release. And if you've got the control of this, we're now going to start to come into a full cat stretch. So tipping the pelvis backwards, rounding through the lower back, then start to lift the waist and the back ribs up to the ceiling. Start to round the chest, and then bring the chin to the chest, look towards the belly. On your in breath, start to reach the tailbone away, start to lengthen out through the rest of the spine and the neck, and head comes up last. Two more times. So on your out breath, we round. Feel that opening of the back of the body, the crown of the head almost reaches down as the tailbone does, and the back ribs lift up. And then reach long. Feel that oppositional stretch to lengthen the spine. And then last time, so we round, we exhale. Waist tightens and narrows. Feel that stretch across the back ribs and then reach to neutral. Lifting the right foot off the ground. Take an in breath and we're going to start to reach the right foot out to the side, turn the head and look towards the foot into a tail wag. Inhale to come back to center, then exhale to switch sides. So we're feeling how we're doing a lateral flexion of the spine. Okay, side bend. So one side of the body is shortening, one side of the body is lengthening. And come back to center. Let's do that on the other side. So inhale, lift the knee or lift the foot, and then exhale, turn. Now really focusing on the side that's opening. So as you exhale, can you lengthen that side of your body more? Can you feel the side that's shortening, the hip lift up towards the shoulder drop down towards the hip? And then last one over to the right with the left foot. Come back to center, lower the foot and just take a quick stretch back. So reach forward through the fingers, nod the forehead down, take a few breaths into the back of your body. Now coming back up to all fours, this time I want you to keep your hands where they are. So now they're going to be slightly forwards than your shoulders. And we're going to find that cat stretch again. So draw the shoulders down, start to round the back. We're going to push the hips back, but keep the hands planted on the floor. Then start to bring the weight forwards into the arms. The pelvis is pushing forwards into the direction of your hands. Pelvis is going to push forwards into hip extension. And then start to lift the chest up. Roll the shoulders down, eye gaze lifts. Inhale, exhale, chin in. reverse. So we come into cat stretch and cobra. So the pelvis pushes forward, sit bones narrow, pubic bone lifts. Roll the shoulders back and down, lift the chest bone up. And we're just going to do this one more time in each direction. So rounding, I'm really feeling the abdominals do the work. And then as I arch the spine, I'm drawing the shoulder blades back and down, feeling that up back. My glutes, my hip extensors. And then take a child's pose again. This time, we're going to walk the hands over to the right side, place the left hand on top, take an in-breath. As you reach, exhale, deepen that stretch. One more time. And then over to the other side. So hands to the side of the mat. Inhale, reach. Exhale, deepen. Okay, hands to the centre. Come all the way up. We're going to transition. So coming around to your bottom. Feet to the bottom of your mat and take hold of the back of the thighs. Use your hands to lift the chest up and drop the shoulders down. On your next out breath, curl the tailbone under and start to round back. Eye gaze forwards to the imaginary horizon in front. And we want to keep that drop down of the shoulders. We're just going to roll back to straight arms. Take an in-breath here. And then exhale, roll the chest forwards. And as the shoulders come over the pelvis, lift and lengthen the spine up. We're going to do that again. So exhaling to roll back. It's exactly the same motion that you've just done in your cat stretch. Trying to aim to keep the shoulders really relaxed down. Exhaling to roll forwards. And then inhaling to lengthen up. This time, if we can, we're going to start to release the hands. So making it more challenging for the abdominal muscles, but still warming up the spine. So we're just going to go to a place where we know that we can return from. So if we find that our legs are lifting off the ground, or we feel that we're having to push ourselves up with our arms, or maybe we're deviating to one side more than the other, don't go as far down, go to where you can control it. And you may need a towel in those tight areas of your spine. So use a towel on those parts where you find it difficult to roll down or return from. Okay, this is our last one. And we're going to use this to roll ourselves all the way down, so with or without a hand support. And as you roll down onto your mat, I'm just going to shuffle myself down a little bit. And bring your feet to the mat, so the knees are bent. And we just want to line up here. So heels roughly in line with your two sitting bones, knees the same width as your feet. And we're going to bring our hands to our pelvis and make sure that, again, we've got a neutral pelvis, so the two pelvic bones and pubic bone level with each other. And we should have a nice long neck, so the eye gaze is forwards, and we want to bring the back ribs down into the mat. So the lower back now is the lightest part of the spine, or maybe the part that is raised. From here, let your arms rest to the side. Find your thoracic breathing again, so breathing in through the nose and out. Now on your next out breath, begin to tip the pelvis backwards. We're going to come up into a shoulder bridge. On your exhale, we peel up. When we get to the top, check that we've got a sense of thigh bones reaching forwards, the toes, pubic bone lifting up, rib cage softening, so we feel the front ribs knitted and closed, the back ribs wide, and then start to roll down. So using that widening of the back ribs into the mat. So bring the thoracic spine down, the mid spine, the lower back, then the pelvis, and then gently relax the tailbone to the ground. Coming back to neutral, let's do that again. So exhaling to roll up. So we're still warming up the spine, still warming up the body, starting to now wake up the hip extensors. And this next one is our last one, everybody. So feeling the three corners of our feet, big toe, the little toe, the center of our heel. And the next time we find the mat, and we come back to neutral, interlace the hands and take them behind the head. Elbows forwards so that you can see them in your peripheral vision. And you're just going to slightly lift the head, and I want you to feel how heavy your head is in your hands. Inhaling, and then on your out breath, slide the front ribs down towards the pelvic bones, lift the chest up. Inhale to lengthen the spine back to the mat. Now each time you lift, I want you to check on your pelvis. Are your two pelvic bones and your pubic bone still level with each other and in neutral? What we want to check is that they're not tipping towards your chest. We want to keep the pelvis nice and still. So we're just now isolating the thoracic spine. And same with the neck, check into the head and the neck alignment. Keeping the space between the chin and the chest the same as we lift and as we lower. So it's important that we keep the head heavy in the hands. And we keep our drop of the shoulders. I'm feeling that my back of my neck is continuously staying long. The skin is staying taut. Okay, last time we stay up, we rotate to the right, to center, to the left, to center. We just got 4 more. Exhale to rotate. Inhale, center. Is your tailbone still down? As you rotate, can you keep your pelvis still? Last one to the left. And release your upper body down. Keep the head down, but keep the hands interlaced. We're going to tip the pelvis backwards. We're going to come into seesaw. So we roll up through the spine. We get to the top of our shoulder bridge, and as we roll down, we're going to start to peel the head and shoulders up. So I'm aiming that when my pelvis lands in neutral, that my head, chest is lifted to a height where I can hold. And then I'm going to start to lower my upper body as I tip my pelvis backwards and I roll up. And as my head finds the mat, my pelvis is going to be at the top of my bridge. And we're going again. So we're trying to find that place where the end of the spine finds the floor and the other end of the spine lifts up to its maximum point. So there's no point where my head finds the mat before my pelvis is lifted, or my pelvis finds the mat before my head, neck and shoulders are lifted. I'm trying to keep the 3 corners of my feet equally weighted. So this is going to evenly work inner, outer thighs. And we're just going to do 1 more of these. This feels quite nice. It's a lovely massage for the spine. Really trying to open up the back body, the front of the hips. Now when we end in our spine curl, release your arms, turn your palms to face down and lower your upper body. Okay, let's warm up our lower abs a little bit. So on your next out breath, lift the right leg. Inhale to lower down. So we're checking, you can use your hands for feedback, that the pelvis isn't rotating as the leg is lifting. So the leg that's lifting is going to cause a rotational force in your pelvis. That means the pelvis is going to want to rotate towards the weight of the lifting leg. So we've got to anticipate the leg that's lifting and draw the opposite hip down into the floor before it lifts. I'm making sure that I'm maintaining neutral pelvis, back of the ribs on the mat and the head and neck in a nice elongated position. Now if you can, this time we're going to lift both legs up and lower them back down. And I'm trying my best to keep the angle at the knee the same. So imagine that you've got an air bubble at the back of the knee. Trying to keep the air bubble, try not to let the heels come closer to the glutes. And we don't want that air bubble to pop. Now if we can, arms to the side of your body. As the legs lift, we curl head, neck and shoulders up. And then tap down and lower. And lift and lower. Last 3. Lower. 2. Exhale to lift. Think of sliding your arms further down the mat. Now last one, we're going to stay up. We're going to come into the 100. So we lift the arms Knees and feet connect, legs stretch, and if you can, we start to lower them. Lower them to the height where you can control your position. Start to breathe. In, 2, 3, 4, 5, out, 2, 3, 4, 5, in, out, in, out, in, out. Keep going. Can you drop your shoulders a little more? Keep the arms straight. We're moving from the shoulders. Navel draws into the spine. We feel strong through the arms but not locked at the elbows. If you can lower your legs further, go for it. One more breath. Excellent. Bend the knees, lower the feet, and lift your arms up. Slide the right leg out. Slide the left leg out. Reach the arms all the way overhead. Now from here, I want you to feel how the back ribs drop down and the front ribs slide to the pelvic bones. So even though we're in this full body stretch, I'm still tight around the center. If I was to let go, what would happen is my ribs would lift, my pelvis would tip forwards and my back would arch. So get rid of that space, pull the abdominals in. Inhale, arms lift. Exhale, curl head, neck and shoulders up, and we roll up. Reach forwards, try and reach past your feet. Inhale into the back ribs and exhale as we roll back down. Now, just like the roll down, I want you to make sure that you're just coming to a height that you can maintain. Maybe you will need your towel here. We're going to do 4 more actually, after this one. So we'll have done 6 in total if we can. If you need to bend the knees, that's absolutely fine, but we're aiming to try and keep the legs straight here. To make this more challenging, instead of lowering your arms as you lift and keeping them in front of you as you roll back, what we're going to try and do is keep the arms as far in line with the ears as you can. Now I get to a sticking point here. I need to lower my arms to bring me up, so you do the same if you need to. That's a work in progress for me. On the way back, I find that I can keep my arms further in line with my ears. So for me, it's the upwards action of coming from the floor that's harder than lowering down, okay? So this is our last one. And we're going to stack up so that we're sitting. Okay, bend the knees in, feet and knees together, take hands behind the thighs. Now I want you to imagine that you're doing your roll back, so you're tucking the tailbone under, and as that happens, the feet float off the mat. So because the pelvis tips back, that's the reason the legs have lifted, not because we've drawn the knees in, okay? So try that again, tip the pelvis back, keep the knees the same distance to the chest, and just allow the feet to lighten on the floor. Okay, we're going to gently lift the elbows, round the spine. As we tip the pelvis back, we're going to allow the spine to rock back and up. Find that point again, so rolling like a ball. To roll back, we tip the pelvis back. To roll up, we round the upper body forwards. So it's just like that seesaw action we did earlier. Let's go again. Inhale, exhale, hold. Can we do 4 more? So we accelerate to roll back, we decelerate, so we need those abdominals as we hold. Last 2. Last one. Now from here, we're going to roll back and we're going to go straight into the single leg stretch. So as we start to roll back, as if we're doing the roll up, the left leg comes to the floor, the right leg folds up and the arms come to the side. So we start to roll back, arms come down, roll, and then the right leg reaches up. Hold it here. Now level the pelvis, arms wide, drop the shoulders down. Straighten this right leg as best you can. Now we start to open to the side. Inhale, and then exhale, complete your circle. Okay, 4 more, so 5 in total. Now you're just going to take your circle as big or as small as you can, keep your pelvis still. So rolling the shoulders down, keeping the points of contact, and using your left leg to help you. Last 2 in this direction, and just check in, have you got clicking going on in your hip? Maybe you need to engage the deep abdominal muscles more, find the glutes, or maybe you need to turn the leg out in the hip. Other direction, inhale, exhale. So inhale for half your circle, exhale for the remainder. 3 more. I try and reach the legs oppositionally. So my left leg is always reaching down along the mat. My other leg is reaching up to the ceiling. Last time, now hold here. We're going to scissor the legs to switch. Draw the abdominals in, lower back imprints towards the floor. Scissor and switch. Okay, hold it here. Inhale, leg goes out. Exhale, circle. Now to help you with this, I know it's an intermediate class, but if we do need it, you can bend the underneath leg. And this is what we're aiming for. 2 straight legs. Nice long neutral spine, still and stable pelvis. Other direction, so going across, down, around and up. Inhale and exhale. Now your abdominals have got to work incredibly hard to keep you still. Last 2. Last 1. And this time switch. We're going to stay with this. Switch. If you can, arms lower. Head and shoulders lift. And switch. Switch. Is that scissor? Switch. And switch. Hold. Arms lift up. We rotate. Come back to center as you switch. Rotate. Back to center. And switch. Switch. Switch, switch. Now hold. 8 pulses. 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Switch, same thing. 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Meet the legs up. Lower the arms, bend the knees. Lower your feet. Okay. Take a bridge, neutral bridge, so feet press down, pelvis pushes up. Pelvis lowers and lifts. Keep going. So just stretching out the front of the hips that we've just worked. We should be feeling nice and warm now. Feeling the 3 corners of the feet press into the ground. Pubic bone stays higher than the belly button and the ribs. So the ribs stay soft. Now this time as the pelvis lowers, we're going to keep the pelvis here. Lift the right leg to tabletop. Remember that air bubble at the back of the knee. Keep it. We push the pelvis up. Lower it down. Just got 3 more. On number 1, we lift and hold. And we're going to release that air bubble and bend. And push higher with the pelvis and bend. So we think of driving down with your your left leg and lifting up with your right leg. Now lift and hold. Now we're going to lower the right leg in line with the left thigh and lift. Lower and lift. And 4, 3, 2, 1. Bend the knee, lower the foot, lower the pelvis. Other side, the left leg lifts to tabletop. Push up and down. And 3. Try and keep the pelvic bones level as you exhale to lift, inhale to lower. Last one, hold. Release the air bubble. And lower. Reach and lower. reach and lower. Last one, reach and hold. Now we lower and lift, lower and lift. Keep the pubic bone lifting so the tailbone doesn't drop down. Last two, last one. Bend the knee, lower the foot and lower your spine all the way down. Stretch the legs out, reach the arms up and over. Lift them up, we're going to roll up. Reach forwards, stack the spine. Okay, so take the legs, I'm going to shuffle back a little. Take your legs as wide as your mat, and if you can, flex your feet. So you're drawing your toes up towards the ceiling. If you need to stack your pelvis on top of something so you can bring it to neutral, please do. Arms are going to reach forwards, and imagine the arms are on top of a tabletop. So they can't lower or lift, they're going to stay on that tabletop and they're only going to slide forwards and backwards. Now draw the chin in, spine stretch. Imagine rounding your spine forwards over a ball, the back ribs reach back towards the wall behind you, the navel does the same thing. So slide the arms forwards. This time what we're going to do is reach as far as you can past your toes. Keep pulling up on the thighs, roll the spine up and stack. 3 more times. So inhale, exhale, reach. Chin to the chest, round the spine, slide those arms, draw the belly back, and then restack. So we've got that two-way stretch, the crown of the head forwards, the abdominals back, the arms are going to reach in the same direction as the crown of the head, and then lift. And last one. Restack, and then lower the arms. Okay, side line. So we come onto our side. We're going to do a little bit of a side bend here. So we're going to set the heels in line with the sitting bones, knees forwards over your hips, and lift the top foot. Place the sole of the foot in front of your underneath leg. So you've got one knee pushing back, one leg down onto the ground. This underneath hand is going to go slightly further out than your shoulder. Fingertips face to the side wall. Spiral the thigh bone, that's not your thigh bone, that's your arm bone. Turn your thigh bone out in your shoulder socket. And we're going to reach the top arm over. Now get this stretch. We're going to keep the knee down to begin with, okay? So push down into the arm, press down into the underneath leg. Stretch up and over. Try and imagine the top knee reaching down, the top arm reaching over. And then slowly lower. Keep thinking of lifting your chest, drawing the shoulder blade down and spiraling the arm out. One more time. Now this is something that you can stay with, come back to, but if you can, we're going to push down into the feet, squeeze them together. Try and send the body forwards over the arm to straighten the legs. Lift the side body up to the ceiling, bend the knees, lift the chest and slowly lower down. And again, reach up and lower. This time we're going to stay up. So we stay up, arm reaches up to the ceiling, we're going to lower the pelvis and lift. Lower and lift, lower, lift, lower, lift. Now from here, lower this hand down so we come into a plank. Hold it here, take a breath in. Knees can lower if you want to on your out breath. Right knee comes into the chest. Exhale, pop the foot back down. Inhale, knee to chest, second side, and lower. And 4, 3, keep the body as still as you can. 2, last one. Transition to the other side. So we reach up, bend the knees. We should be in the same position that we started on the other side. So let's go again. The underneath leg stays down to begin with. Reach overhead and then lower down. And remember, this is where you can stay or you can come back. And this time we're going to straighten the legs. So we push the feet down, squeeze the inner thighs together, reach up and over, and lower. Reach, and lower. This time we're going to stay up. Reach the arm to the ceiling, pelvis lowers and lifts. Lowers and lifts. Lowers and lifts. Last one. This time, start to lower your pelvis. This time, roll onto your bottom. Bring the knees into that balance. Can you extend one leg? And lower, extend the other leg. And lower, maybe both legs. And then hold. Hold this position. Lift your arms up and down, up and down. Two more. Up and down, up and down. Bend the knees. Hug them in, lower them down. Take the knees wide. Stretch the arms forwards and release your body. Breathe. And you're just going to walk your hands to the right side. 2 breaths here. And then walk your hands over to the left side. And again, 2 breaths here. Come back to center. And roll the spine up. Take a deep breath in. And release. One more time. And that's our intermediate class today. I hope you enjoyed the class. And if you haven't already, please subscribe and click the bell icon for future notifications. Hope to see you again soon. Bye.